News Live and Gate City Bank present the Bison Football Show with head coach Chris Kleiman.
When Youngstown State comes to town, you can expect the intensity to get cranked up a little bit, and it sure did. And Youngstown's players did respond to their coach's intensity. North Dakota State took another A-plus shot from an opponent and found a way. Here to talk about it is head coach Chris Kleiman. Congratulations to you and your staff for another victory. And Youngstown State does match up well with us. In what way do they match up well with us?
Well, their defense matches against our offense. They do a great job in their defensive front, and they play tight man-to-man coverage. And we knew this was going to be a four-quarter game. Yeah. All the older guys in our locker room that have played Youngstown for a few years and us coaches knew that Coach Pelini was going to have the guys ready to play. He's intense, and his players did respond, didn't they? Yeah, they really did. They played hard. It was a real physical game like we thought, and it became a four-quarter game, but that's going to help us down the stretch. I was glad we were in a four-quarter contest. Yeah, no doubt. That's a good point right there. Let's roll the first half, and Youngstown State came out swinging. Boy, they came out fired up, played well, and they came out with the quarterback run. You weren't maybe sure who was going to start. They start Nathan Mays, and he can run the football. Yeah, once Seven was going to be the quarterback, and it was going to be Mays. It was going to be all quarterback run, and that was what they were going to try to do to try to move the chains. And he can throw it a little bit. What's the scouting report on his arm? Well, I think he gives them the best opportunity to win. We've seen him the last couple of years. I've really impressed him because he's a big kid that can run it. He throws the quick game really well. He's tough to sack like we're finding out here. He just finds little gaps and seams, and I think the kid's a real good competitor. Boy, they get a 4th and 1 here. They decide not to kick it. This is a huge stop on their opening drive. Yeah, I thought it was smart for them to go for it, and great job by Levi to kind of create the pile, and then Robbie to make the big hit, and then we were able to keep him away from a first down. Boy, for the Bison offense early, the 3rd down conversion rate was outstanding. It has been all year. Yeah, we were wondering how they were going to play Shep, and early on they let Shep have some space, and Easton found him for a couple of big plays on 3rd down. That was 3rd and 8. This is also a 3rd and 8. And once again, they just can't cover Shep one-on-one, and then they end up starting to double him, and that was the matchup we were trying to go to, because we thought single coverage, they couldn't handle him. Some adversity, though. There is a turnover here. Yeah, they do a nice job. This linebacker's played for an awful long time, does a good job stripping it out here, and they get the football inside our territory. Yeah, that linebacker's 42, Armand Delavate. He had 16 tackles in this game. Stanley Jones, the Bismarck High kid, I thought he played well. Yeah, I thought our entire front played well. You know, we rotated 8 guys in there, and everybody was relentless on the quarterback, and we needed to be because it was going to be tough to arm tackle this guy. Yeah, he breaks tackles. There's no question about that. So you get the ball back here. Another 3rd down, another pass to Darius Shepard. Yeah, the 3rd and short, and he runs a quick slant and gets inside the safety, and they were having a hard time matching up a safety on him. They did bow up, though, and they force a long field goal, 52-yarder. Yeah, and Cam thought he could make this, and he's banged a couple of these in practice, and it had the distance, just pulled it a little bit left. Did you come into the game in the scouting report thinking you could hit some deep passes on their defense? Well, we were hoping. It just depended on how they were going to play it. And then you can see they doubled Shep there, and Easton goes and throws a great ball to Dez, and we get a big play. That was great. Wheel route also, there were some opportunities with that in this football game. Yeah, if you were going to shut down the run game out of this formation, which they were able to do, we had to find a way to get behind the defense. We missed one earlier, came back to the same play. Lance was able to get past the linebacker, and we get a big score. Big to take that early lead. Youngstown State decided they should try the air a little bit as well. Yeah, they did a nice job of throwing some quick game and running what we really kind of call pick or rub routes, and they did a nice job of moving the chains on their 3rd and shorts. And we did get a break here. This was a beautifully thrown ball. Yeah, should have been caught for a touchdown. We didn't blow the coverage. The kid just did a nice job in beating our man coverage, and fortunately they didn't make the play. Now they force us into a punt situation, a little adversity here as well. Yeah, we just poor job in the shield. We don't block a guy, and they make a big play, and now we have some adversity, and our defense has to be able to bow up. They have 3rd and 10 at the 12. They need to get down to the 2. They only get to the 3 here on 3rd down. Yeah, I don't know if they thought they had the first down. Obviously, it's a solid yard short, but they maybe thought they had the first down. I think the kid probably knew thought he had a first down. That's why he spiked it, and yeah, big break for us because they don't have any timeouts, and so they spike it, and into the half, and we're fortunate 7-0. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, they were out of timeouts. The clock was rolling. Just a crazy scene there, and he did spike it on 4th down. That ended the half.
You can see the points were at a premium, 7-0, hard-fought game. You could tell it was going to be a four-quarter game at this point. The total yards, it was hard to move the football out there. Great defense by both sides. The rushing yards, just 73 and 50. That front played awesome. So on the hot seat this week, it's Bismarck High's Stanley Jones. Stanley, what teammate do you relate to the best?
Greg Menard.
Okay. Your favorite member of the Bison coaching staff?
Buddha.
Okay. What sport did you try as a child that you failed at?
Golf.
Your favorite Halloween costume?
A football player.
What did you get in the most trouble for with your folks?
Sneaking out.
If you could be best friends with a celebrity, who would it be?
Forrest Gump.
What is the most expensive thing you would buy if you had unlimited money?
Decked out Bugatti.
Best summer job?
Pouring concrete.
That's a hard job.
Very hard.
Worst food you have ever tasted?
Tomatoes. Not a big tomato fan.
Agree. What skill do you want to learn?
Golf.
And your strangest tradition in your family?
We do a fear factor at every reunion we have. Different kinds of stunts and eating stuff, so it's interesting.
Nice. Thanks, Stanley.
Yep, appreciate it.
Well, Coach, they won the toss and they deferred, so you knew they were going to get the ball to start the half.
Yeah, we needed to have a great 30 minutes, and we challenged the guys. We could play better in all phases, but also challenge the guys to tell them this is going to be a four-quarter game. And so, you know, the first series, offense, defense, are going to be really important.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's roll the second half here. And the Bison defense had a really good first series. As I mentioned, they got the ball. They had won the toss, so they deferred. Stanley Jones makes a big play early.
Yeah, really good job by Stanley of disrupting the block of the tight end and making a big tackle for loss.
So you get him into a 3rd and 7. 3rd and long is a tough down for him.
Yeah, it really is, and we were able to get some pressure here and keep him away from a first down. If the first look was gone, we know he was tucking it and running it.
They never did adapt to that bubble screen to Darius Shepard, did they?
No, we were lining up different ways and starting him to the boundary, motion him to the field, and Easton was seeing that, and we were able to get some good chunk plays out of it.
Another solid 8 or so tackles for Jabril Cox, some big plays as well.
Yeah, this is a really good job on a blitz, and they flip it to the running back and good open field tackle there.
You know, Greg Menard was timing his rush well also.
Yeah, I think all of our defensive linemen did a really good job of constantly having this guy feel your pressure, and whether we were able to get a sack, get a hit, or force him to throw the football, the D-line played great.
Youngstown did tighten up on that deep ball. They got burned in the first half, but they did tighten up a little bit here in the second half.
Yeah, I thought they did some nice things. We just misfired on a couple, or we had some that were what we would call 50-50 balls where we're hoping to make some plays, and we just didn't make those.
You got some good double coverage here, but Nathan Mays threads the needle, doesn't he?
Boy, he really does. Good throw and catch by their guys. I think we'd all think we could have a chance to pick that one, but they made the play.
They end up tying it up 7-7, so they do find the end zone. Pretty good drive by them.
Yeah, really good drive. They run a wheel route, and they get in between the safety and the corner for a big score.
So this is a 7-7 game going into the fourth quarter, but right when you need a drive, Easton, as he always does, responds and puts together a quick drive with big chunks coming.
Yeah, this was a real important drive for us after they had just tied it. We start off right off the bat and throw it to Shep for a big gain over the middle.
And on this run, it was a 37-yard run. Makes a lot of people miss Lance Dunn.
Absolutely. It's probably designed for a 3-yard play, and he gets close to 40 just making people miss. And Lance had a great football game.
So then you're in the red zone. Little quarterback run here inside the 10.
Yeah, good job here again. We're looking for a tight end up the middle, not there, and so Easton tucks it away and gets inside the 1.
He finishes this off. So this drive was 5 plays, 70 yards. So quick drive, just 5 plays, big chunks. It only took 2:16.
Yeah, and it was a big drive for us to answer their score, and that's why I was so pleased with the offense. After we had the adversity of getting it tied, they were able to take it down for a touchdown.
I thought this was one of the biggest sequences of the game. You needed to stop, and Derek Tuska had a couple of big plays.
Yeah, big plays by Tusk. Good dial up of a blitz there by Coach Ince, and then here they double-team Derek, and back chips on him. The tackle's got him. He fights off both players and gets a big sack.
That was outstanding work right there, and I thought really gave you the ball back to try to get this thing to 2 scores, which was huge.
Yeah, we were able to get the football about at the 45. Once again, we throw the bubble and we get a big first down, so we're moving the chains already, and we needed to get another score to get it to a 2-score game.
Yep, and looks like an easy field goal, but hey, this is big 3 points.
It really is, and we split the uprights here. Good protection, really good snap. I thought Ross Kennelly had his best game of snapping on punts and PAT field goals.
You know, at this point, you really want to work the clock. So you get a 30-yard run, and just moving the ball up the field is taking time off the clock.
Yeah, really good block there by Brock Robbins and Nate Jensen on the edge to get a big play.
So you knocked their quarterback out, Nathan Mays. He had to leave the game. Montgomery Van Gorder, who had been starting most of the season, does come into the game.
Yeah, he comes in. We thought we'd see both, but didn't realize it'd be till this late. He does a nice job of getting out of the pocket and throwing the football. The difference was he wasn't going to get out of the pocket and beat you running the ball.
Exactly. Blake Williams gets a sack in with an interception. Some big plays to finish this thing off.
Yeah, it was a good job by Blake getting some pressure and knock him back a little bit, and then we're going to get a big play on another one of those 50-50 balls, and he throws it up, and Robbie does a good job of going over the top of their receiver for a big interception, and then Smart stay in the end zone, take a knee, and the game's over.
That was really smart by Robbie right there to stay in the end zone, finish it off. Boy, it was not easy. Youngstown played a very good football game. It was 17-7. There you are talking to Bo Pelini after the game. You see the yards. The Bison did get up to 360, held Youngstown under 300. That's a great day defensively. Rushing yards, Youngstown State with Tevin McCaster, they could not run the football, folks. 75 yards rushing. Great day for Code Green. Let's hear what the players had to say after the game.
You know, I think first of all, they play really hard. They've got good players, really good athletes, guys that compete hard, and you know, secondly, they're in a good position. That scheme is tough. It's tough to throw against it. It's tough to run against it. They do a really good job and play hard, and so proud of our guys for just staying with it and finding a way.
You know, their coaches, you know, they make good game plans against us. So, you know, it all comes down to just who's going to be more physical and who's going to finish harder in the fourth quarter, and I feel like we did that.
I think it's just how many seniors we had and how many leaders we had, and there's a lot of people who's been in this position before. We've been in close games, and I mean, we just let our leadership take over, and I think we've seen so many different things throughout the years that nothing really phases us too much, and we try to keep a level head.
And the Valley's crazy, so we'll go back to work on Monday and prepare really hard and be ready to go play it. It's always tough playing Missouri State at their place. It's a tough place to play, and but we'll be ready and go down there and compete our hardest.
Well, Bo Pelini is a fiery competitor, but after the game, when the dust had settled, Pelini was very direct regarding his thoughts on the Bison, and he has a ton of respect for NDSU.
From Coach Kleiman on down, I have so much respect for how they go about it, and it's a pleasure to play against them. I hold them in the highest regard, and there's a reason why, from the fans all the way through to the coaches, the players, they do it the right way. And they're what's, in my opinion, what's good about college sports. But trust me when I say that it isn't like that everywhere.
What comes to mind when you hear Bo say that type of stuff?
Well, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Bo, and he and I have become good friends. And he does. I think he appreciates good football. He appreciates good defense, teams that run the football, physicality of the game, and we know every year we play those guys, it's going to be a four-quarter affair.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. The Bison defense had a big day in the sack and tackle for loss categories, which leads us into our Nodak Insurance Player of the Game. Derek Tuska had a sack and 2 tackles for loss, and it was a sequence in the fourth quarter that flipped the momentum to NDSU's side for good. Tuska recorded a 6-yard tackle for loss and a sack on consecutive plays, helping NDSU get the ball back to stretch the game to 2 scores.
A little bit of moves and a little bit of luck. I got the right calls, and I was put in the right position and was able to capitalize on the opportunities. So made the plays when I was there.
Well, he's playing well, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. He's just part of that big group of rotating guys in the defensive line, and that's so important for us to keep guys fresh, play an awful lot of guys, and all of them are playmakers. Everybody has the ability. This week it was Tuska and Greg. The week before it was Caleb and Stan and Stides and Blake. I mean, we have so many guys that can make plays inside for us.
4 sacks, 9 tackles for loss, and when you look at those 2 categories as we go back into the great defenses that have played during this awesome run for NDSU, you look at the sack numbers in 13, 14, 17, and 11. Really good. Those were the years where the sacks got over 40. and that really attributed to a large number of tackles for loss. And you look at the pace we're at right now, you know, through 9 games, 26 sacks. That's a pretty good pace in those 2 categories.
Yeah, and I think all the guys would tell you we probably had some missed opportunities there. So they're excited about the more opportunities that we're going to have. But absolutely, you win up front. You win by being able to rush the passer and have some of those tackle for losses to knock people off schedule. And I think our defensive line, Coach Buddha and Coach Gazer, are doing a great job with those guys.
Yeah, the 44 sacks in 13, a big part of that was Kyle Emanuel. He had a monster year in 2013, as we all recall. Jabril Cox, I wanted to talk about him a little bit, as teams scheme for him every week. You hear the coaches in their press conference as they prepare for the Bison. They mention him by name. How do you think teams are preparing for him?
Well, just trying to find out where he's aligned and stuff. We're moving him around. We're putting him into the boundary. We're putting him to the field. We're playing him inside, playing him outside. We're blitzing him. We're dropping him in coverage. And you know, he has a great supporting cast around him. He's got 2 senior linebackers in Levi and Dan that are phenomenal football players and phenomenal leaders that I think do a lot of sometimes the dirty work, allow Jabril to make some plays, as well as those guys up front. So he's a big piece of that puzzle, but Code Green's all 11 of us.
Yeah, what are his biggest attributes, you think? His speed is tremendous.
Yeah, speed is the biggest thing. Is just and he has such tremendous length that it's hard to block him and stay blocked, and so he's able to get off blocks. And so really pleased with his play so far.
It's fun to watch him play. There's no doubt about that. Let's look at the Valley. So under the Bison, it's a little bit of chaos going on there. South Dakota State, Northern Iowa, Western Illinois are all 4-2. You know, Western Illinois was 2-4. Suddenly they're 5-4. Those kids continue to battle at Macomb.
Yeah, just kind of what we expected, a bunch of people beating each other up, and fortunately the Bison have been able to stay away from that bug, and I know we have a share of the conference title, but we don't want to hear the word share in there anywhere. Our seniors don't want to do that, so we're moving forward in really what we think is a conference championship game atmosphere down at Missouri State.
Yeah, 8th straight year the Bison have at least shared the conference title. Could still win this one outright, obviously, but that is a Valley record. That's never happened before. You and I had 7 in a row, so the Bison broke that record. Congratulations to Coach and the staff as well. Well, it's a family tradition at NDSU. Oftentimes you'll see brothers playing at the same time, and their dad played. We have one of those stories. Stay with us. The family tradition with Bison football runs deep. Oftentimes we see a younger brother follow an older brother to NDSU. For example, this year it's the Cox brothers. There's currently another Stumpf in the program as well. We have the Tuska brothers, of course. Well, the Kubis family from Dickinson takes it to the next level. 2 brothers are currently on the team, and they followed their father, who also played at NDSU. Alex Egan has this week's Olaf Anderson Construction feature story.
The Bison football roster is dotted with family connections. For Zach and Jacob Kubis, playing for the Bison is a generational thing. Zach and Jacob's dad, Monty Kubis, played for the Bison in the early 90s.
Obviously, he talks about his games against UND a lot. That's one of his favorites. And then the Mud Bowl, when they went down to Pittsburgh, Kansas. I believe it was an overtime game, and it was just pouring rain, and the field was all torn up. He said that was a real memorable game for him.
Going to any school other than NDSU was never really an option for the 2 offensive linemen.
You know, the boys, when they were younger too, they came with us, obviously, so it was, you know, that was probably some of their indoctrination, if you will.
Sure, they had offers to play at different places, but once the Bison showed interest, it was pretty much a done deal.
I'll be honest, I was relieved, because I knew they both wanted to play football collegiately, and I sure didn't want to have to split time.
When it came to my senior year, and I had to make a decision, I mean, I had some discussions with some D2 schools and stuff, but when it really came down to it, I knew more about this program than any other one.
So I kind of joked around with him when he was going through some of the recruiting process. I said, you need to pick NDSU now because there's only one of me.
The Kubis family lives in Dickinson, North Dakota, but Monty makes the trip to Fargo for every home game, supporting his alma mater and his sons.
Whenever they're able to come up, it's a real special time.
Being able to be close enough to your family where they can come down for games, just a great opportunity.
For the Bison Football Show, I'm Alex Egan.
Talking a few times to Monty Kubis, he's pretty locked in.
He really is. He's a tough son of a gun. I love having Monty come up because what a great former Bison to represent all of our former players, and to have his 2 boys there, it's a lot of fun. And they're both offensive linemen, so they're with Coach Riley every day. It's a good group.
When you think about all the families that are currently involved in the program, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it really is, and it just goes to show you, somebody has a great experience and they tell somebody back home, and then you know, their brother comes, and it's a neat tradition that we hope to continue.
No doubt. In this week's Peterson Farm Seed Future Crop of Bison, we look at a rising corner. Destin Talbert is from Hinsdale South High School in Illinois, which is just a short drive southwest of downtown Chicago. With the 4-game rule, Talbert has seen some action as a true freshman. A tremendous athlete in high school, holds career touchdown and yards records at his high school, strictly a defensive back at NDSU. He is learning a lot from the veterans at that position in year 1.
They've been huge. Guys like Jalen Allison, like Marquise, like those guys are my big brothers in that sense, and that you learn everything from them. You watch them practice, you watch them play, and it's like these guys are the best at what they do. And so I'm glad that I'm under them and get to be kind of tutored by them for this year and upcoming years.
Tell us about Destin Talbert.
Really mature young man, excited about him. He's playing with Jalen Allison out. He's kind of moved on past that 4 games. We're going to play him the whole year. He's on some special teams, really physical, really fast. He's going to have a great career here.
No doubt. Great to have him in the program. Well, a true road game, last of the regular season for the Bison at Missouri State. We'll talk about it. Stay with us. In our Verizon look ahead, it's the Missouri State Bears down in Springfield. It's always a fun trip. It's an easy flight. You know, it's a bigger city, great hotels. Missouri State coming off a big loss in Brookings.
Yeah, and it's senior day for those guys, and that's always an emotional time, and you know, they want to rally around their seniors. They've struggled the last couple weeks, but this game's about us. We need to continue to improve offensively, defensively, and teams.
It seemed like they had started to turn the corner a little bit, Missouri State, but then the gauntlet of the schedule has gotten them a little bit here. Where do you think they're better this year?
Well, they beat Illinois State, and that kind of jumped out to everybody, and then I don't know what has happened. I haven't followed them as much, but it just probably the gauntlet of the schedule, like you and I talk. It's just every week, can you get up for every one of these tough opponents you're going to have?
Yeah, no doubt. The Bison roll into Springfield. We'll have the Bison Radio Network fired up for you. And this is an exclusive game for ESPN as part of the league package as far as television. So it'll be on ESPN Plus for you this week as far as the television side goes. We'll recap it for you next week. The Bison are 9-0. Enjoy it, everybody. Have a good one.
Hungry?